Let's look at the exterior angle theorem of a triangle. The measures of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of its two remote interior angles. So if we look at this triangle right here, X is an exterior angle. It's not inside the triangle. Here we have the angles that are inside the triangle. So what this says, if I want to find the measure of X, I have to add the two angles inside the triangle that are not touching X, which means I have to add 40 plus 80. So I'm going to do 40 plus 80 equals 120. And that's the measurement of X. It's that easy. Let's look at the next example. The next example, I have the exterior angle as 100, but I'm missing one of the remote interior angles. So I know that Y plus 25 has to add up to 100. So I'm going to write Y plus 25 equals 100. How do we get the Y by itself? Subtract 25, subtract 25. Again, some of us can probably do this in our heads. And you get 75. And 75 plus 25 does add up to 100. Now let's look at these two word problems. The first one says the measure of the exterior angle of a triangle is x degrees, and the measure of the adjacent angle is at least twice x, which is not a possible solution for x. So we know that we're going to have a triangle, and our exterior angle is going to be x, and our interior angle is going to be twice x, at least twice x. Here's my triangle. There's my triangle right there. So we know that these two angles right here on this straight line, right here, have to add up to no more than 180. They cannot be more than 180. If so, it's not possible. So let's look at the answer choices. We have 20. If we replace x with 20, 2 times 20 gives me 40. If I add 40 plus 20, it is less than 180. So that is possible. Because again, it would have to be more than twice. If I replace x with 60, 2 times 60 would be 120. And 60 plus 120 does give me exactly 180. So B works out perfectly. So A works, B works. Now, if I replace x with 80, then 2x would be 160. Now, if I add these together, that's way more than 180. So therefore, the answer cannot be C, 80. And if I try 50, that should work. If I double 50, I get 100. And that is less than 180. So the answer to that would be C, 80. Now let's look at the next one. The measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is 50 degrees. What is the sum of the measures of the corresponding remote interior angles? Okay, so if you go back and reread the definition, this is pretty simple. But what I'll do is I'll actually draw this too for us to make it a little bit easier to see. So I'm going to make this. I'm going to have a 50-degree exterior angle. Okay, and they want to know what the measure of this angle and this angle will add up to. Well, remember, the two remote angles that don't touch that exterior angle, that's what they're going to add up to. So they're going to add up to 50. Now there's another way if you don't remember that definition. We know that this is a straight line. So what's 180 minus 50? That would give me 130. And then I could just take 180 and subtract 130 again to get the answer of 50. So again, remembering that these two angles right here have to add up to this guy right here, the 50. Lastly, let's look at these two examples. Here, we're trying to find x. X is the exterior angle. These are my two interior remote angles that don't touch x. So to find x, I just have to do 25 plus 10, which is 35. And then for the last one, we have to find x and y. So the first thing I'm noticing is that this right here is a triangle. And I'm going to figure out this angle right here before I do anything else. So we know that these angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. Now this is obviously not drawn to scale. This is definitely not drawn to scale, I have to say. So I'm going to add 35 and 10 and I get 45. And I'm going to do 180 minus 45 to get 135. So therefore, I know that this angle right in there is 135. So if that's 135, then angle Y has to also be 135 because they are vertical angles. Now to find X and Y are on a straight line. So to find X, I would just do 180 minus 135. My picture is very terribly drawn to scale. Terrible, terrible. And that should give me 45. And you could do it that way, or if you notice that X is an exterior angle, you could just add the 10 plus the 35. Either way, X is 45 and Y is 135. I'm going to give you a couple of con assignments to work on, an HMH assignment to work on, and then 2 mazes to work on in class today and tomorrow. Good luck.